And Razor joins us on the Harbor One hotline. Holy cow. Everybody loves them some Andrew Raycroft. Razor, good morning.
Good morning, gang. How's everyone making out? Big Thursday football, huh?
Huge.
Bills Mafia in town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Were you excited that the Royals were in town last night? Your thoughts?
Very exciting. Hopefully we pounded a bunch of government dollars into driving them around the city and really went to town on that wasteful dollar.
Now, are they still going to be around on Saturday? Can they go to the big Bruins Avalanche game? Get them right on the glass there? That'd be nice.
I believe it caused enough of a fuss over at TD Garden that they might not have been invited back after all the work and loopholes they had to jump through, the hoops they had to jump through to get them down on the court.
Fair.
But they are Commonwealth. I am a Commonwealth country, as you know, up until -- so I should bow down a little bit easier.
I was going to say, what do the people of Canada think about the Royals?
Well, the Queen. I played every arena that I played in when we were kids had the Queen at one end. They were all, basically bow to the Queen, the government. I think we appreciate and respect the monarchy more so than down here.
You follow into the Team Canada World Cup at all? Does that interest you?
Well, it did, but today's obviously we have zero chance. We have not won, and we're out. So it was a sad day getting it handed to us by Belgium the other day. But we were fired up 10, 15 days ago. Yes,
right.
It was a big accomplishment to get in.
Yeah, you got in there. That's nice.
Well, I was going to say, the Bruins are doing so well. It's almost like, what do we talk about with Razor with this team, for God's sakes? Like, we're at pinch me levels with this team here, Razor, are we not?
Yeah, this is nuts. It's bananas, and I go to the rink and they win, and we all just kind of look around and laugh at each other, and the players come in, they're like, "Oh my, you did it again, no big deal." So yeah, we can. It will be much easier to talk about the prince and princess than the Bruins at this point, because it's rinse and repeat. They're really good. They're really deep. Everyone's playing well, and they're getting saves from their goaltender, whoever's in there.
Taylor Hall, a couple of goals against the Lightning, and also playing on the third line. Where do you see the perfect spot for Taylor Hall as the year goes on?
Well, I think it could be where he is right now. And it's so easy not to, as a player, it's so easy not to get hung up on first line, second line, third line when you're on a team like this. Mm-hmm. Now, third line issues happen when you see a line ahead of you not doing well and you're there, or you see a guy on a line ahead of you that you don't think is in the proper position. That's when the third line and different line combination issues come up. This situation is different. I don't think you look at the Bruins as a third line and say that's a third line because they're worse than the other two lines. It's just the skill set that they have, and I think Taylor Hall fits that combination with Charlie Coyle so well because he uses speed to get the puck. Once Charlie gets the puck, it's very difficult to get it off of him, and the matchup it produces to have an MVP on your third line against other teams is so difficult. So I got to imagine that's been communicated really well. Taylor is more than happy to play there from my point of view, and when you score a couple goals a night, that helps too.
Andrew Raycroft of NESN, and of course here at WEEI with Gresh and Keefe. He's with us each and every Thursday talking about the Bees. Linus is dinged a little bit. How do you see the goalie split? I mean, Hellraiser, at this point, does it even matter who's between the pipes?
No, they might toss me in there one of these games just to see if they can really challenge themselves. That's what it feels like. All right, we'll just put him and Bozo in there. But no, it doesn't. And they're going to play so many games. So this is the last real break they get until the All-Star break, till the start of February. They've been really slow this week. But starting Saturday, it's every other night, basically all the way through the end of January. So there's going to be lots of ice time for everyone. Linus backing up the other night means he can play. If you're a backup goalie in the NHL, it's not a situation where we'll put him on the bench and he's not going to play. If you're there, you can play. You're available. So I would imagine they'll get back to somewhat of an every other / 2-3 games segments for these guys going forward.
Razor, what did you think of Pat Maroon's response to what Jack Edwards said about him? And for those who missed it, Pat Maroon donated $2,000 in the name of Jack Edwards to the Tampa Bay Thrives organization, which deals with mental health, bullying, body image. But there was a big response by national writers about what Jack said following the game, and then Pat Maroon responded this way. What was your take on the whole situation?
It seemed to be a measured response. The best way to go, the high road for Pat Maroon, I think, not to get into the weeds. And I'm sure at the end of the day, he understands deep down that, that the hometown announcers can get ahead of themselves a little bit at times. And certainly that might have been the case here. And I think he took the high road, did a nice job, and let it just go away rather than making a monster deal out of it.
Are there a lot of skinny fats in the NHL?
Well, there was when I played, absolutely. I mean, you had 2 or 3 on every team, guys that had great hands, that could play, that didn't see a gym all summer long. And nowadays, there's much less of it. Everybody's in shape. Everyone's drinking protein shakes when they're like 9 years old. So these guys are in much better shape, but there are lots of skinny fats when I played, no question.
Now, by the time we talk to you next, they will already have played not only Colorado on Saturday, but also Bruce Cassidy in Vegas on Monday. So that game will be at the Garden. What kind of reception do you think Cassidy's going to get, and what do you think it's going to be like with the players, many of which seems like had an issue with them, welcoming Bruce back and obviously a very good Golden Knights team?
Well, it's going to be a little more charged for everybody. I'm sure of all people, Cassidy will be the one that really wants to stick it to the home team. I think from the Bruins' point of view, when you're 19-3, nothing's phasing you. I think they've done their communicating with how they feel. I'm sure there's no hard feelings. I think it's just a matter of it was time for a new voice, and the entire organization has proven that. So I got to imagine Cassidy will really want to stick it to him. The Bruins will want to not have him have his glory, but I would imagine the ovation will be good. It might not be quite as good if the Bruins were 3-19. It might be a raucous one, a 5-minute ovation. I think now it might be a little less subdued just because of what the Bruins have done this first quarter of the season.
Razor, have you ever been in a situation where the other team, and this is so unique, but you mentioned that Cassidy would want to get the win, but what about the Vegas players? Is there any indication as to how they would be taking to Cassidy if they sort of quote-unquote take up for him, knowing how important this game could mean to him personally?
Yeah, no, guys definitely recognize it, and they understand, and they know when the coaches are going back into their former building, and I'm sure they'll give him a bit of a hard time going into it, but they'll also recognize that it's important, and of course we always, as players, want the coaches to be happy. So yes, you're going to have your antenna up a little bit more going into that building because of, for many reasons, right? The 2 best teams in each conference, the Cassidy issue, and just wanting to play one of the best teams in the league in the Garden. So yeah, the players will be. It'll be a great game. There'll be a lot of energy in that, and then the players are going to want to win for Bruce Cassidy. There's no question.
Razor, if you're Jim Montgomery and you want to be real picayune about things with this Bruins team, what would some of those things be that he could nitpick?
Yeah, I talked to Jim a little bit. He's around, and you hear, what can be better, and nitpick. That's what coaches have to do in the NHL and in all sports, and especially when their team's really good. This is when you can really dig in and nitpick and get on the guys about details. The couple things in zone, creating more chances 5-on-5. They're doing a good job holding on to the puck and not just putting pucks to the net, but hold on to it and really find where the soft spot is 5-on-5 in zone. And then breakouts, under pressure breakouts against the better teams, like we're going to see a forecheck from Colorado. They fly all over the ice. Vegas is the same. So getting out of that zone much quicker and more on the same page where you just know where the guy is. So there's still a lot of details for this team. And again, as a coach, it's so much easier to work on those and get on guys' cases when you're 19-3.
Now, I think it's a bigger debate in basketball when we're talking about who's the best player, who's in the top 10, that kind of thing. But I'm curious, with Colorado coming on Saturday, How high up would you have Nathan MacKinnon if you were ranking players in the league?
Oh, he's top 5, no question. You got McDavid. I think McDavid's on another level.
Yep.
He's LeBron James 10 years ago. He's just at a different. Like, he should be MVP automatically. Like, first game played, he goes out and has his first shift. All right, give him the MVP. But they like find ways not to give it to him at this point. That's kind of how that works. And then you have a Crosby and you have Ovi, the old Patrice Bergeron, the older group. But of that younger group, Nate MacKinnon's right behind Connor McDavid. I don't think you're trading Nathan MacKinnon for anybody but Connor McDavid in the NHL.
Razor, who goes in the tickle trunk this week?
Well, you brought it up and stole a little bit of the tickle trunk thunder with Taylor Hall. And I think for all the reasons we'd already talked about, the 2 goals certainly this week, but his ability to go down and be really effective with 17 minutes of ice. I thought he's played a 200-foot game as well as anybody on the Bruins team, including Patrice Bergeron, the way he's back pressured, the way he's been responsible in his own zone. I've loved his game all year, and the fact he's chipping in. And now with that matchup ability on the third line, I'm putting Taylor Hall in the tickle trunk. It's still positive, guys. I don't know how to.
Seriously,
the coaches can nitpick, but I can't go negative yet. I got to wait for a 2-game skid or something.
Agreed.
All right, have you gone Christmas tree yet? Are you tree up? You ready to go?
Oh yeah, trees up. Usually I wait till December 1st, but my daughter was like, "We have to do it Thanksgiving weekend." So we had a little time. Trees up, decorations up, and fortunately, the elf on the shelf showed up this morning. So that was really exciting for me and my wife to have that happen today. Yeah, we were pumped.
There you go.
Look at that.
Well, enjoy.
Thank you, Razor. We appreciate it, friend. We will catch you next Thursday. Thank you.
Awesome. Good talking, guys.